doesn't get away. Do you want to know the irony of how this has been handled by the government? In 2011, when the whole thing was cancelled, an arbitration set course, meaning Devas went with the ICC saying cancellation was wrong, they should be made good for it. In July 2011, they were asked to appoint, government Antariksh was asked to appoint an arbitrator from its side. Devas would do it from their side, arbitration will go on. Antariksh did not even appoint an arbitrator, continuing this fraud. Government of India did not tell Antariksh that he should appoint an arbitrator and go fight. They did not, they just kept off, saying, whatever happens, let's see. Having cancelled it, they did not appoint an arbitrator to fight for the right and defend the government of India. Did they leave it there? In August 2011, again they were reminded, appoint somebody for this arbitration. And they were given 21 days only to appoint an arbitrator to fight for it, so that the government of India doesn't have to pay for having cancelled and rightly cancelled it. Even the 21 days went away, they did not appoint an arbitrator, which means what couldn't be given through the deal, through arbitration and everything else, the fraud that was perpetrated on us would get paid in the name of damages. That arbitration award had to come in 2015 after Modi's government comes, and we take it up all in seriousness and fight from then. Even worse, even in 2011, for having given away the S-band, which is a very sensitive band, which is a spectrum band, which is very rarely used and by defense only, for having given away the S-band for a throwaway price, they did not even invoke national security when the arbitration began. It's an outrageous case whereby a rare endowment of the people of India, the S-band spectrum, the satellite which goes up, are all given away to petty cronies of the Congress party. Some of them were abroad, some probably within this country. And half-hearted attempts to bring justice to this case were taken up. I told you how they did not appoint an arbitrator. Even after reminder, they did not invoke national security as an important clause. That led to Devas becoming brazen and going to all the international courts and claiming damages. I'll just give you a picture of how much of damages they are claiming. You'll understand the seriousness of this matter. The domestic commercial arbitration between Devas and Antariksh is of roughly $562.5 million US plus interest from 2015. The two sets of the shareholders, the Deutsche Telekom, I think, Singapore, and 3 Mauritius investors, have obtained awards using the bilateral investment treaty clauses. Each, meaning one has got $93.3 million US, and the other one is $112 million US. You can imagine what a scandalous agreement that was. A laid back, just get the problem out of my way kind of an approach in 2011 when they cancelled it. And even after that, when they did not appoint an arbitrator, and even after that, they did not even invoke national interest or national security, that till today, we are fighting one after the other to save taxpayers' money, which would have otherwise gone for paying all the damages because of this scandalous agreement. It was a fraud from the first place. And I'm glad that the Supreme Court has called it out. And simultaneously, let me remind you that the first generation bilateral investment treaties, which did not have very many clauses which are important for Indian investors, was brought to an end, terminated in 2015 after Prime Minister Modi came. It's become null and void since after 2016. A model BIT is now being negotiated with very many countries. And just to highlight to you what that first generation BIT did not have, and as a result of which we are facing a lot of trouble, is it had issues of taxation also being interpreted as part of being a part of BIT. Taxation can never be part of any of the agreements. It's a sovereign domain. Today, interpretations are being given even about taxation in such matters. Second, there's no chapter on investor obligation in any of those first generation BITs. Investor has no obligation. He may fulfill an agreement or not, but he can claim all the rights. Whereas the model BIT today includes all that. And national security could never be invoked under the way in which that was drafted. So BIT is happily being touted and interpreted against our own interest. And I'm very grateful that the Prime Minister in 2015 said, no, we'll have to redraft all these agreements. And 2015, it was annulled, meaning effective 2016. Although, of course, the duration for which it had to run, it'll run, the grandfathering will happen for those who have invested during those times. Sorry, friends, it's a bit longish opening statement, but I just want to draw your attention to a few quotations from the Supreme Court's observation. I'll just highlight one or two, and I'm sure many of you all would be able to take it from the judgment itself. I'll share the copy of the judgment with you all. Para 12.A of the Supreme Court verdict. I have the copy with me. Can share the copies with you later. Para 12.8 says, a total amount of 579 rupees, Indian rupees, was brought in by Devas. But almost 85% of the said amount was siphoned out of India, partly towards establishment of a